lot to talk about. I've only got 15 minutes. We're diving into the Profit Playbook, which is our growth and strategies from our State of Security report. Can I see everyone's phones? I actually can't really see much because the lights are so bright right now. Can everyone put their phones up just so I can see them? All right, hopefully something I say today will resonate with you. You'll take a photo, scan that QR code. That'll connect you to myself on LinkedIn. We're going to be talking a lot about what's going on in our world for 2026 and into 2027. I cannot believe I'm actually using the term 2027 right now because it seems so far away, but it's only 9 months, maybe 10 months away. So what has happened over the last few months since I've seen you last? A lot. Anyone here at DattoCon in October in Miami? We got one there. I can see one, a couple over there. We've had some new acquisitions, which we are super excited about. I'll start with our AI-powered digital workforce. This is something that's going to be coming in all across the board for 2026. So if you do have some of our products, please do come by the booth. I know Brandon Taylor and Luke Patnow should be at the back. I can't really see if they are, but they should be there. They'll be at the booth with me later on. Datto Series 6, and probably the most thing that I'm excited about is the acquisition of Inky. Can I see a show of hands who I've met in the room before? Okay, so a lot of people I haven't met. A little bit about myself, based in Vancouver. Can I get a shout out if you've been to Vancouver? Couple? I like it, I like it. I was born in a small fishing village in England. Who's been to England in the room? There we go, a couple more, good. Small fishing village of about 2,000 people. My parents got me out of there in 1983. They wanted to give me more opportunities from living in a fishing village. They moved me to Vancouver, and now I get to travel around North America, Asia, Australia, Europe, talking about how phishing attacks are affecting our world. So it's kind of all come full circle. I think this is my 6th exchange event. They get better and better every year. I know Rob mentioned in his talk about Zero Trust World. We're going to be heading there after, so I'm super excited about this entire week, getting out of the gray, rain, and cold of Vancouver and down here to Orlando. All right, so before we dive in, a little bit about some changes with our company. Effective from December 2025, we've ended high watermark billing. Can I get a little clap for that, please? Yes. Flex spend on everything. So if you spend money with us, you can move it between products. Our catastrophic loss protection program has been updated. We brought back month to month on Datto BCDR contracts. We've got our price lock guarantee in place, and we've made our 1-year pricing way more advantageous to MSPs compared to the 3-year. It used to be a huge gap. Now it's a lot closer. So if you don't work with us, please do pop by the booth. We've got some great swag as well. But let's dive into this security report. Got a lot to cover. I'm going to start speaking a little bit faster than normal because we've only got 11 minutes left. So from this report, we talked to small and medium-sized businesses across the globe. 87% are in the US, some in Canada, some in Europe, some in APAC. And some numbers here I've cherry-picked out of the report, which will shock you. Hopefully you'll get those phones out, take some photos, come talk to us later about. 14% of SMBs have a cybersecurity plan in place. What does that mean? A lot of opportunity for all of you. Cybercrimes are now the 3rd largest economy on earth. This is super scary. When we're talking GDP, we're talking the USA at number 1, China at number 2, and cybercrimes comes in at number 3. I never thought 6 years ago when I started we would get to this place in our world, but here we are. Consequences of cyber attacks in the last year. Once again, some shocking numbers. Hopefully you take a photo of this. 70% of SMBs could not continue to operate if they were hit with ransomware. Once again, showing why you are so important to the global economy. I'm going to dive back into that in a little bit. 50% of SMBs reported it took longer than 24 hours to recover. I know all of you are hopefully using solutions that will help your partners recover quick, but if you're not, come talk to us. And 46% of cyber breaches impact businesses with fewer than 1,000 employees. When I first started traveling around, mostly in Europe and the US, I was talking about how enterprise was the main target of these cyber criminals. That's flipped on its head now, and now we're seeing small and medium-sized businesses getting attacked more. A lot of this stuff you might know. A lot of this stuff is great to share with your partners. And when we're talking about MSP's biggest challenges for growth, once again, take a picture. If you want this report, come by the booth. I'll send it to you after. It's 15 minutes of reading, probably some of the best 15 minutes of reading you will do this year because it will help your business moving into 2027. But out of all these numbers that we see here, probably the most important, increased competition. So 24%, okay? When we're talking about increased competition, we're talking about you as a business, not just being the only MSP in the city these days. Okay, you need to have tools that set you apart from those other MSPs, and we have solutions, whether it's our TruePeer or our Powered Services Pro that can help you with that. Another one that I was shocked at, 10%, inability to quickly demonstrate value to clients. Come talk to us and let us help you with demonstrating value for clients. And unlocking revenue with managed security services. This is what the end user is telling us they want. This is the most important slide of the presentation. Take a photo of this, please, because this is what you need to know for your playbook, for your roadmap going into 2027. This is what small and medium-sized businesses are saying to us they need. EDR, patch management, just like Rob was talking about, zero-day protection, managed detection and response, and lastly, advanced email security. Email security, and specifically phishing, the #1 threat vector that cyber criminals are using for the 5th straight year to attack small businesses. That's why I'm so excited about the acquisition of Inky. Standing out with security services, whether you're ensuring your team is prepared, gaining social proof, and marketing to bring in new prospects. That's something that's so key. Add to pitch decks and onboarding materials, and becoming a thought leader in your security space. We have so much content at our fingertips that we want to use to help you. Favorite slide of the presentation. Who's seen Enemy of the State? Give me a little shout. Hackers. All right. Sneakers. Rest in peace, Robert Redford. There we go. War games. This is what we watched in the 80s and 90s. I always bring this presentation, and I always show this slide. And what I love about this is I'm constantly updating the right-hand side. I love that people are taking pictures. I think that's Eric, if I can see it right. Is that Eric? No? Oh, it is. Okay, great. You can see one person in the room. I love it. On the right-hand side, this is what we're watching now. Who's seen the capture in the room? I've got one guy. That's it. Undeclared war. The morning show. I'm guessing a few people have seen that. Yeah. The Beekeeper. Jason Statham, that's always the one that people put their hands up for, probably watch it on a plane. Leave the World Behind, and 0 Day. This is what Hollywood is throwing our way. There's so much content coming out from Hollywood, from Netflix, from Amazon, all cyber related, and this is great homework to give to your end user. Could we hit the play button, please?
We're at the stage where people do have to second guess a lot of the emails they get, a lot of the text messages they get, a lot of the links they get, and even the ads they see. With AI and deep fakes being so prevalent in our world, we often can't trust the eye test anymore, and we have to go that next step to see if something is real or if something's fake. Go to the main website. That is my biggest piece of advice. If it pops up in an ad or a link, don't believe it. Take everything with a fine-tooth comb, so to speak. Go to the actual website and see if the same deals are there, because often those ads are not real.
Good advice indeed. And again, security experts tell us the biggest thing.
All right, any Canadians in the room? We got a couple? Obviously, you could tell it was a slow news day in Canada because they're asking me to come on board. But all jokes aside, I get called every week from different members of the media to give details on a cyber attack. I did one on Friday, which is coming out today, which is all about phishing season, which is also known as tax season here in America. Okay? And what I'm getting at is these attacks are happening, the media is finally covering them now, and they're not just a footnote at the bottom of the paper or the website. All right, what do these four have in common? The hurricanes, the wildfires, Doge, and the Omni hotel chain. Anybody? Throw it out. Say again? Disasters. I like that. I'm going to use that. Disasters. These are things that cyber criminals exploited over the past year to 2 years. Okay? When the Florida hurricanes happened, we're in Florida right now. I've actually never told a story in Florida. But what's so crazy about this? After the hurricanes happened, cyber criminals were combing the dark web, grabbing insurance lists, and they were using those lists to reach out to people who've been affected by the hurricanes. Same thing with the California wildfires. My friend who works at the US Patent Office, maybe my friend with the most boring job on planet Earth, he got an email after all the Doge cuts saying, we're going to get you your money back because we know you got let go. He didn't get let go, but it was a phishing email, okay? And what I'm getting at is cyber criminals are getting smarter. There's a little box right there under the California wildfires, okay? ChatGPT helped find the guy who started the California wildfire. The only time I've ever heard of ChatGPT history being used to help solve a crime. That is something we're going to be seeing going forward. Omni Hotel chain. I was at a conference, gosh, a year and a half ago, and we showed up, cybersecurity conference, about 3,000 people there, and the Omni Hotel chain had been hit by a cyber attack. Couldn't use credit cards, couldn't get into our rooms with key cards, so we had somebody on the floor walking us to our room because the key cards didn't work. My coworker, Brian Doty, who probably a few of you know, he was calling his wife as we were walking back to our room after maybe a few adult beverages, and he said, it's me, I'm walking back with Miles with an escort to my room, and I'll call you in the morning. And we quickly realized that's not something you say to your wife. But all jokes aside, seeing how this affected our life, we couldn't pay for beers for MSPs. We couldn't buy you guys dinner in the hotel because nothing was working. And to see that the day we arrived in for the conference was crazy. What's this? Say it louder. I have a 3-year-old. Anyone with kids in the room? Anyone with kids under the age of 5? So I love getting away because I actually get sleep. But because I do a lot of jokes with my son, this is my one dad joke. This is my segue into our products, into what's new at Kaseya. I know that's cheesy, but bear with me here. When we're talking about MSPs, when we're talking about all of you, this is something that I say often. You guys really are the superheroes of the global economy. You guys are the lifeblood of the engine that makes this world go. And we think at Kaseya, you guys deserve more profits. And that is something that we've talked about for a long time. We've only put it into fruition over the last 24 months, and that's with K365. So Kaseya 365, because when we're talking profit margins, legal 40%, financial 37%, marketing 25%, and MSPs, the average profit margin is 10%. I know we have some of the best MSPs in North America and Europe in this room, but what I'm getting at is we think that 10% should be higher, and that's why K365 was born. It started with endpoint. Everything needing to manage, secure, and backup endpoints. If you don't know what K365 endpoint is, pop by the booth, see Brandon, see Luke, see myself. Then came out with K365 user, everything to prevent, respond, and recover from user threats. And then we've expanded our subscriptions. K365 endpoint there, you can see the products, K365 user there, that's where Inky falls into play. I was brought on board 6 years ago when that Graphis acquisition happened. We saw Inky. We were very excited about what Inky was doing, but we were also very jealous. So to see Inky come into the Kaseya family, super exciting. That's where Inky falls into play under K365 user. And we have 2 versions of K365 user, one for $399, one for $549. That's Inky Pro or Inky Advanced, depending on what you need for your business. We can talk about that at the booth. Then everything came into play, one platform, everything ID, and that alone, those 2 subscriptions were saving people about $12 on average. Then K365 Ops came in this past year. Super excited about that. That is for MSPs, so everything for you guys to empower performance through AI-driven workflows, whether that's through automated billing, AI-driven workflows are one of our flagship products, IT Glue right there. A lot of people don't even know that's part of the Kaseya family. And demonstrated value, automated QBRs, and end-user collaboration. And there's cost savings there. When I say cost savings, upwards of 77% with the K365 Ops package. And lastly, I'd be remiss, like I said, Luke's at the back somewhere. He's our pen testing expert. He's an ethical hacker. He can dive into the Vonahai product. What movie is this from? Nailed it. I love it. Pen testing, something that is not as popular in Canada, but in America in December, I believe it was December 18th, 2024, it was mandatory for all large companies to do pen tests if they wanted to be compliant. I don't know if that's true with every one of your partners, but a lot of partners, that is the case. So if you haven't looked at Vonahai or any pen testing solutions that are out there, please do, because this is something so vital. And this all comes back to what we've saved partners. Over $1 billion over the last 18 months for partners who have jumped in and grabbed the K365 platforms, one of those 3 subscriptions. Lastly, Profit Fuel. That is our internal audit program, and we can actually look at your stack, figure out if we can save you money, okay? Often there's savings between 10 and 30% on your entire stack after a Profit Fuel program has been done by, our team, which is looking at your products, seeing if there's anything that we can help with, whether there's any gaps, and going on from there. Lastly, we do have that one platform for everything, but come by the booth. We've got some luggage tags, some luggage tracking tags, which are great. One of the best swag items you'll get at this show. Limited amount, so please do not wait until tomorrow because they will be gone. We got some water bottles, we got some fun stuff. But lastly, I know I only had 15 minutes. I want to thank everybody. If I haven't met you, please do come by and say hello. Would love to have a drink, love to have a coffee, love to have a bite to eat with you. I'm going to be here till Wednesday, like I mentioned earlier, and then I'm going off to Zero Trust World. Scan that QR code and do add me up. Would love to connect with you. I'm going to be posting that video on tax and phishing season, which is going to be out today. I'm going to be posting that tomorrow. A great video for you to share with your end user to hopefully get some business down the line. That was a quick 15 minutes. I appreciate everyone. I know it's early, and we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, everybody.